Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream today. Welcome to our live stream this afternoon. Today is Saturday. It's Saturday, the 19th of October, 2024. I'm just coming through for a quick live to go over weekly check-in. Just checking in to see how your week was, what has been going on for the last 7 days since I think I did a live last weekend. So I'm just here to check to see what's going on as far as the diversity visa lottery is concerned. Just giving you a quick update and also a reminder that if you haven't applied already, this is a good time to go ahead and do that. So today is 19th October 2024. It is day 18 of the diversity visa lottery entry period. So it started on October 2nd. It's going to go all the way until November 5th. So that means you have 17 days to complete and submit your entry if you haven't already done that. So just a quick recap or key things that you need to remember if you haven't submitted. The deadline, obviously, you have to be aware of the deadline. Remember that after you finish, you should save your confirmation number, and you can print it out. You can take a screenshot of it. You can take a picture of it with your phone. You can email it to yourself. There are so many ways that you can save it, as long as you have it ready for next year, because that's the only way you're going to find out whether you have been selected. So the 2026 DV applicants will check their results starting May 2025. So please bear in mind that you have to save your confirmation number. One entry per person, unless you're married. So don't forget that. Make sure that if you're going to add your spouse, you're legally married, because the US is big on documentation. So they want to see that marriage certificate if you win and you end up at the interview with the US embassy officers. You need to prove that. Children, highly recommended to include your children, whether you're trying to go with them to the US or not. It is easier to have them on that application than not. If you have children prior to submitting your entry, include your children, because if you don't, you won't be able to add them. And if you lie that you have children, or they find out that you have children and you didn't include them, that whole application has been jeopardized, and you risk just messing up your whole application for everybody involved. So include your children, please. Even if you don't even know where the father is or the mother is, include your children. You'll deal with that later when it comes to completing the DS-260 and all that. But whatever you're reflecting on their initial entry, make sure you keep that track. If you say you have children, then on the DS-260, make sure that you're saying you have children. Unless, of course, at the time of application, you did not have children, and then between that time of submitting your entry and completing your DS-260, or even the time that you're going to the interview, you have an addition in your family, then in that case, you can add. All right. The other thing that you guys need to remember is that the children need to be under 21 and unmarried. So if the children are not, they're over 21 or they're married, then you will not include them in the application. If you're married to a US citizen, you don't have to, obviously, or a lawful permanent resident, obviously you don't have to include them in your application. The other thing that I want you guys to remember is that the official website for the DV lottery program is dvprogram.state.gov. dvprogram.state.gov. That's the official, and I'm going to type it here. DV.state.gov is the official website for the diversity visa lottery. So any other websites are null and void. They are not the websites that you want to go to. That's the one that you want. That's the legit website. Somebody asked me on Facebook, what is the legit website for the DV entry? That is it, dvprogram.state.gov. So having said that, I have some questions that came through over the past 7 days since Saturday. I know I did some questions last weekend, so I'm just going to go over them. They were on the comment section on some of the YouTube videos that I posted, especially the step-by-step one of how to complete the diversity visa. I had a lot of questions from that video. So I just put them together and I'm just going to go over the questions. I'm going to try to make sure that this video is not too long. So let's get right into the questions. If you don't catch this live, you can replay it later because it gets published on YouTube. Let's start with the first question. It is from Little Miss Sunshine. Hi, my youngest son's passport is missing the surname. It's missing the surname. It has his first, middle, then Kenyan name. How should I fill his names? For example, his name is Calvin Marley Kamau. His surname is Njoroge, but not on his passport. How should I fill his name? So the biggest thing that I can say, Little Miss Sunshine, is write it the way it appears on his passport, because the DS-260 asks for the name on the passport. So if there's any discrepancy between what's on the passport and what's on the birth certificate, at that point, you can bring an affidavit just to verify that this is the same person. But I would put the name on the passport. Thank you for your question, Little Miss Sunshine. I have another question from Umar Lawal. Umar Lawal. Hello, ma'am. Can I be dependent on multiple applications? Can I be a dependent on multiple applications? Okay. If you are a child and married under the age of 21, then I'll say yes, because your parents, both your parents, are going to put you as a dependent on both applications. If you're married, then your spouse will put you as a dependent. So those are the two times that you'll be listed as a dependent multiple times. So thank you for your question, Umar. The next question is from Queen Uwa. Queen Uwa, how are you doing? Hello, Lucy. Can you please help me? Mine is not showing me part 2. I'm married. I want to add my spouse or derivative, but I don't get part 2 of it. So, Queen, I think you have resolved this. I think me and you went back and forth on the comment section because we couldn't figure out why you are not able to put in your go on to page 2 in order to put in your spouse, but you figured out that it was because you were clicking something else instead of married and my spouse is not a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. So you got that cleared. So I think the takeaway from this is to pay attention, to read all those options before you check it, to make sure that the one that you're checking is applicable to you, because that's what was happening. And Queen, you are getting frustrated, but just read the choices carefully and then you select. So eventually she said she had clicked the wrong button and she was able to submit her entry. So good luck, Queen, and all the best this year. Guys, let me know if you can hear me and let me know where you are watching from. The next question, and this is a Q&A from comments from the YouTube video that I posted, how to complete the DV entry step by step. lots of questions. So I just figured I will compress them into one video and answer them, because even if I answered them individually, I feel like other people might benefit from some of those questions and answers. So that's why we're doing this. The question is from Kakaire Aldo Travel Blog. Please, do I have to provide school certificate, passport, and work certificate during interview? The answer is yes. You do have to provide your school certificate, certified copy. You do have to provide your passport, and you do have to provide your work certificate if you don't have a high school diploma. So those are the requirements. There's not two ways about it. Make sure you have those. Young damsel, how are you doing? Thank you for watching and for your questions. It says, do not enter district, country, province, and state. And I was not born in a capital city. So my passport shows the district where I was born. So am I going to enter that district or choose the birth city as unknown? From Young Damsel. So I would write what it says on the passport, whatever it says on the passport, because every passport says place of birth. Wherever it says, put it, or your birth certificate. Like I said, it doesn't really change or affect the outcome of your diversity visa, whether you put whatever city. I would put it as close as possible to the area that you were born. I'll pick like a big city close to the area that you were born. But if you do have a passport, write whatever is written on the passport. The biggest thing is the country of eligibility, not the city. If you compare between the city and the country, then the country of eligibility is more heavily important. That is required. Your country has to be eligible. Thank you for your question. Sam Ahmad. Oops, I just saw your video, but I put in my middle name, my father, as my father's name. What should I do? So if you've already submitted it, you cannot change it at this time, but you'll have an opportunity to correct it on the DS-260. So I wouldn't really worry about it right now, because as they say, the water has already been spilled and you can't collect it from the floor. I think that's a Swahili thing that we say. Maji yakimwagika hayazoleki. You cannot change it at this time, but you'll have an opportunity to change it when you're completing the DS-260 if you win. So good luck. Good luck. From Rosemary Jerry. Sasa, Rosemary Jerry. What if you don't have a child? What do you feel on that space? I would just put 0 if you don't have a child, so that you can proceed to the next page. If you're married, you'll have to put something there. You'll have to put 0 for the children, so that it can let you move on to the next page, so that you can put in your spouse. If you're single, then that'll be the end of that. You'll just review your application, and then you will just submit it. Nobody's saying where they're watching from. Where are you guys watching from? I see some people on here. So I'm not even sure for the last 13 minutes if I've been talking to myself. I guess I'll find out after I replay the video, but hopefully you can hear me, guys. So the next question is from Clara Diana. Clara Diana. Please, I'm married traditional, but no marriage certificate. Can I apply for the lottery and get the certificate later? Yes, you can. It is highly recommended that you have it before you complete the DS-260, and especially before you go for the visa interview if you win. Because when you submitted your entry, you said you were married. So they want to see evidence of that. The US is big on documentation. So if you say one thing, you have to prove with documentation that whatever you're saying. Things have to match. The paperwork and your verbiage has to match. So yeah, you do need your certificate when you go to the interview. From Nohin Nelson, my wife is the primary applicant as the country of her birth is eligible. Her passport does not have any name in it, like the spouse's name. Is this okay? We do have a marriage certificate. And Lucy, I have to say, this is the best step-by-step instructions video I have watched on YouTube. You covered all aspects of it, even the doubts that people might have. Thank you, Nelson, for your feedback. Yes, I don't see a problem if you have a marriage certificate, because she's applying under her country of eligibility, and she's putting you as the derivative. So you can use that. As a matter of fact, you can claim her country of eligibility because you're married. So you can very well put in 2 applications and claim your wife's country of eligibility as the country that you're the basis for submitting your entry. So look into that. You may be able to submit 2 entries, but your wife can put you under her as well. Lois Parisai, currently I'm a nurse with a diploma. Where should I click, madam, please? Ay, unanita madam, kweli. Lois Pasirai, thank you for your question. Currently, I'm a nurse with a diploma. Where should I click? So a diploma in Kenya, you guys, or in other countries, what is a diploma? Because the way the certificates are named, because it could be a diploma, but it's a 4-year course. So I'm not sure. As long as it's a 4-year course with a degree, then click university degree. If it was a 2-year course, I would just click the high school degree. Then at the interview, if you feel the need to let them know, okay, you know what, I have a diploma in nursing, because all that at that time is really not important if you have the basic qualification, which is the high school diploma. So I wouldn't sweat so much about it. I would just put high school diploma. Janet Mangera, what if the child doesn't have the father's name? Like I said at the beginning of the video, you should put your kids on the application, include your children on the application, whether they have the father's name, or they don't have the father's name. Include your children in the application. Whatever documents you need to get, you'll get them after you've won. Because if you fail to include your children, it will be very unfortunate, because you won't be able to add them later. You will have to travel to the US and start filing for them using the family-based visa. And that takes a long time sometimes. So why omit your kids when you get this opportunity to just come with them, and it's quick for them to move with you? So just include your children in the application. Mary Love, what if I'm pregnant? It doesn't change your status. The child is not added until they're born. So you're still gonna be, if you're single, you're still gonna say you're single. If you're married, you're still gonna say you're married, but you won't include any children, because the child is unborn. They're not born. So from day 1 is when we start counting the children. I just wanted to add that you should bring the birth certificates, Janet Mangera, about the child who doesn't have a father's name. Just bring the birth certificate at the interview. All right. Nohin Nelson. This is about the photo. I uploaded a pic with the resolution 602 by 602, as the guideline mentioned that it should be minimum 600 and maximum 1200 square. Is this okay? The picture easily got uploaded. As long as you followed the specifications, and I have videos, I have 2 videos about that. Photo specifications, they are short videos, you can review them, or you can go to dvprogram.state.gov under the instructions and read about the photo specifications. So it should be okay. Charles Karaoke just had a comment, top-notch content. Lucy, God bless. Thank you, Charles Karaoke, for your feedback. Asante sana. From John Kelly. He copied me a paragraph from the instructions, the PDF that has the 2026 DV instructions, and he said, this is a paragraph from photo requirements and instructions. So I'm quoting the paragraph. In addition, snapshots, magazine photos, low quality vending machine or mobile phone photos, and full length photographs are not acceptable. End quote. Then he said, I find this very confusing, especially after learning that some folks won with photos taken with cell phones. True, you can take your pictures with a cell phone. What they're saying is not that you can't take your pictures with cell phones. Yes, you can. Just make sure that you're following the specifications, that the guidelines that they have put there. For example, what they're saying is taking a photo of another photo and then trying to fix it. Like, for example, taking a screenshot of a previous photo and then trying to manipulate it. They don't want that. Take a new photo, it has to be within the last 6 months. Using a photo from a photo booth, you know, when we go to like fairs and stuff, and there's a little booth that you can go in and take a small passport photo, that one is not acceptable. Taking a full photo, like you take your whole picture and then you try to like edit it and crop it and minimize it so you just get the head up to here, that is not acceptable either. So that's what that paragraph means, John. Using a phone that has a good quality camera is okay. So those are the questions that I had. So I don't know if you guys have any other questions. Let me see. Abigail Bailey. Greetings. Can both, wait, let me see if I can put this up here. Can both me and my son's father use the same photo I used for our son in my application? Can both me and my son father use the same photo I used for our son in the application? You can use the same photo. I hope I'm understanding what you're saying. So your son's father, I'm assuming you're married, so you're doing 2 applications. And correct me if I'm wrong, Abigail. So I'm assuming you're married and you're doing 2 applications. So your husband is doing one and adding you as a derivative, and your son, you can use that photo. And then you're the main applicant, you're adding your husband and your son, you can use that photo, if that's what you're saying. Kevin Kimoy, hello. Nyaje, how are you? Oh, Kanseme. Mustafa, if the background is a little bit yellow, is that okay? So the thing with this photo guidelines, they are so specific. And if you already know that you can see a problem, fix the problem. I would just take another one with a off-white or white background. If you're having suspicions about maybe it's a little bit too yellow, or if it's enough to have you concerned, then I would just do another one on a plain white background. Okay, Abigail. No, we are not married yet, but we are together, but we are doing 2 separate applications. Okay, so you're not adding each other. You're just adding your son. That's what I'm understanding then from this clarified statement. So it means that you're doing separate applications. You're not adding each other as wife or husband. You're just adding your son. Then, yeah, you can use the same picture. Okay. Yes, Abby, you can use the same picture. Can you say something, Kevin? Can you say something about mailing address? So, the mailing address is the place where you receive your mail. I have done a video about that, about the mailing address. So, the mailing address is not a huge factor because back in the day, they used to mail you letters. As a matter of fact, when I was doing my adjustment of status, you had to have like the right address, because if you don't have the right address, you're gonna miss out on communication and stuff like that. But now with the technology, the biggest thing is your email. They want you to have a good email so that they can communicate with you. So I give an example of my village. I come from Bahati in Nakuru. So where we live, I don't even know what that address is. That Shambayetu Misijui address, I don't know. It's not like here where everywhere has an address. Like this house right here is whatever street, whatever city, and whatever state. It's not the same. So the way that DV application is set, it's set with the US system. But obviously, our mailing system and the US mailing system, the address system is different. So I would put Bahati or Nakuru, because Nakuru is the next town or the next city close to Bahati. For example, if I was born in Bahati, I would put that. If they want like mailing address, I would put, I think we have a post office there in Bahati. I would get the address for that and put the address, or whatever landmark that is close, because that does not change the outcome of your DV. The things that change the outcome of your DV, let's talk about that. It is not it's not the address. It is not the city of birth. It is your country of eligibility. It is the country. It's not those little things. It is your dependents, whether you put them in correctly. It is your qualifications, high school or work, and it's your photo. So those are the big determinants of whether or not this entry is going to go through. All right. Abby, you're welcome. Thank you for your question. Abdidek Sheikh Yakub. Is there a suitable date for application that can guarantee success? There are no guarantees because, as it's clearly named, it's a diversity visa lottery. So by mere fact that it's a lottery means there are no guarantees. As far as the dates, I've seen people talking about there are dates that are more favorable for you to apply. In my opinion, and this is strictly Lucy's opinion, it is a lottery, and it doesn't matter what day, what time, as long as it's within that deadline of October 2nd and November 5th. I think you should be good to go, as long as you have your specifications, you have your qualifications, your photo, you have followed the guidelines for putting in a good application. The things that you can do to be successful or to increase your chances. So that's different. There are some things that you can do to increase your chances, but it's not a guarantee because it's a lottery. So, Yakub, I cannot say that, okay, if you apply on day 3 or day 10 or the last day, you have a guarantee. No, there are no guarantees. Kevin Kipkemoy, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for your question and for watching. Guys, I want to thank you for participating in my lives, for watching my videos. I appreciate you, for your questions and for your interactions on the comment section. You have been very, very active on the comment section, and I appreciate that. I hope and wish you guys all the best. Keep asking your questions. Remember that you have 17 days. I don't know if you guys were here when I introduced the video. So let me introduce the video again. Today is October 19th, 2024, day 18 of the DV lottery entry period. The entry period began October 2nd to November 5th. You have 17 days remaining to submit your entry. So you have 17 days, and this was a weekly check-in to say hi to you guys, to see what's been going on last week, to see if you've applied, and if you haven't, what is holding you back. And if you applied, what challenges did you face? Do you have any questions? And I also went over most of your questions that came from the video that I did called Step-by-Step Instructions on how to complete the diversity visa entry. And oh my God, every time, Thomas, every time you put your name on here, I cannot pronounce it. So I'm just going to call you Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Thank you for listening from Kigali, Rwanda. Did you submit your entry, Thomas? Have you submitted your entry? I think I saw your comment on one of my videos. I believe I did. Kevin, uko which state? Mimi niko Delaware. Unajua Delaware? Delaware iko on the east coast of the US. I'm in Delaware. Most people don't know about Delaware. I should do a video about Delaware so that I can educate people about Delaware. Do you guys have any more questions? Ama tufunge live. If you don't have any more questions, we can end the live, and then you keep watching the videos. I'll add the video for step-by-step instructions on how to complete the DV. I will put it in the description box once this video is uploaded on YouTube. And also the photo, just reminders. Big reminders is the photo, the qualifications, the people that you're adding on your application, your wife, your husband. Come We Stay doesn't count. Make sure you have you're legally married. And legally married by American standards is you have a marriage license. So make sure you follow those. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to increase your chances so that you can have a better shot of winning, regardless of whether it's a lottery or not. You can put your best foot forward so that you can give yourself a chance to win. You're fighting with a lot of people in this battlefield. There are so many contestants. So how do you prepare yourself and set yourself apart from other people who are also participating? I'm from Nakuru. Ulitake wapi? Ulitake wapi photo? Who? Which photo? You can go to any studio, a reputable studio. Let me not say any, kwa sababu kuna zingine, they can cheza you, they'll charge you, and then the photo is still bad. Go to a reputable photo studio and just tell them you're there to take a photo of the diversity visa for US passport, US passport size photo, 2x2 inch. You can print out the specifications and give it to them so that they can see what the requirements are. Okay, let's see this question. I don't know if this question is complete. Jacob, what if I had participated in the lottery in some years back and I was successful, but we failed in the interview because of forgery of educational documents, which I didn't know about? Please note that I was dependent. So can I participate again, or the previous fraud will affect my application? Okay, well, I'm glad you said you are a dependent and you are not the main applicant. So I don't think those sins will follow you. I'm hoping not. I would just go ahead and apply, because I don't think you are. Were you at the interview? Were you asked any questions? Because the education and the work qualifications are primarily for the primary applicant. So it's not for the dependents. When you're putting in your application, it doesn't ask you your children's education. It doesn't ask you your dependents' work experience and whatnot. So are you saying you are a dependent as in you are a husband, a spouse, or were you a dependent? Were you a child? So hopefully that won't follow you and won't jeopardize your entry, but I'll just put in my entry. David Kemani. Sasa, we applied many times the green card application. We are not selected green card application lottery. I know it's frustrating when you apply every year and you don't win, but there are so many people that have applied so many times, and by the time they were about to give up is when they win. And because it's free to apply, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just something that you can put in your annual calendar that, oh, it's October now, let me put in my DV application. It's ni bahati nasibu. It's bahati nasibu. You just try your luck. So keep trying, David. Don't give up. My wife was the primary applicant. Okay, so if your wife was a primary applicant, she might have issues, but I don't think you're going to have issues. I would just apply. Because your education, your school papers and your work papers were not produced during that interview. I'm hoping not. It was your wife's paperwork that was produced during that interview, and that's what was found to be forged paperwork. By the way, guys, don't forge paperwork. Be honest, be genuine. If you don't have the qualifications, if you don't have the education qualifications, try other ways, the work experience. But honesty is very important, and it's a big thing here with the US paperwork, the forms. They always tell you to be honest. When you're signing at the bottom, you're signing that all information is true to the best of your knowledge. So once they find out that you did something fishy like that, you're going to get flagged. And once you get flagged, you're jeopardizing your chances of even getting more different visas to come to the US, not just the DV. So please be honest. It's not the end of the world if you don't come to the US, but please be honest. And the DV lottery is not the only way to come to America. There are other ways that you can come to the US. So don't forge documents. River Road. Please don't forge documents. Just marriage certificates, which kama hizo. Get the right documentation. Be comfortable when you go to that interview. Unajua, I've been honest on my application. I have put in everybody that I need to put in. I have added my children, my husband, or my wife. I have the high school certificate. If not, I have the work qualification. My picture is good. So when you're going to that interview, you're actually very confident. Hauna mawasiwasi because you're worried about, oh, what if they find out that this document is not legit? So you're going there with added stress. But if you have all your stuff in, all your stuff legitimate and ready, actually you're going there with a calm demeanor, kwa sababu you're not worried about what if they find out this, that, and the other. All right, let's see. I had a master's degree by the time, but mine was not considered. Right. Yakub, yours was not considered because you are a dependent. So this time you can be the main applicant if you're legally married, you guys. You can be the main applicant, and then you can even check that off. That I know we said that the high school diploma is the minimum, but if you have a master's degree, check that off. Check that off, but you still need to bring your high school certificate at the interview. So I'm wishing you all the best. I'm hoping that you're going to go ahead and submit your entry, and hopefully that your sins, your wife's sins, will not follow you to this application. Abdi Tamimu Twaha, Lucy, your contents are the best for sure. Thank you. Thank you, Abdi, for watching. Abdi Kwapi, where are you? Does everybody here understand Swahili, or where are you guys from? Yakub, where are you from? I know David Kimani mnaelewa, you understand Swahili. Thomas is from Kigali, Rwanda, and I know they speak Swahili there. So the reason why I speak English in my videos is because some people come from countries that don't speak Swahili. So I have looked at it's called my analytics, and some people are from countries that are not Swahili speaking countries. It would be unfair for us to have like valuable information and not be able to reach them. So, okay. You're from Tanzania, Bukoba. Have you applied? Have you put in your application, Abdi? This is the time to put in your application, guys. So Yakub, immediately after the interview, our passports were held together with our small daughter. Was this an indication of success in the interview? I'm not sure what that means, Yakub. I'm not sure what that means. When they put your passports together. You're from Kenya? Okay. All right. So you understand Swahili. So I'm coming on a weekly basis just to remind you, if you haven't applied, to make sure you put in your application. We have about 4 to 5 weeks to put in these applications. As of today, you only have 17 more days. So if you haven't put in your application, then make sure you do. If you know other people that would like to apply and don't know how to apply, you can let them know to come to my channel and watch a few videos on how to apply. You can refer them to dvprogram.state.gov so that they can go on there and apply. It's free to apply. You don't need to pay people, guys. It only takes about 30 minutes. I wanted to say that you need to prepare yourself, because it's not like the DS260 where you can save and come back. This form is a one time. You sit down, have good connection, sit down, complete your application, and you're done. The things that you will need is your name as it appears on your birth certificate or your passport, your photo, and the photo of everybody that is going to be included in this entry: your husband, your wife, your children. So each derivative with a picture. It won't let you move up if you don't have a picture. So have good pictures. Abby, I want to know, if you have high school education and you don't have the required work experience and you were selected, would you still get the visa? If you have the high school education, so the work experience is if you don't have the high school. So the work experience is in lieu of the high school diploma. There are some people who don't have a high school diploma but have this qualified work experience, 2 years experience in a qualified work field over the last 2 years. So over the last 5 years, you've worked in a qualified field. So if you have a high school diploma, yeah, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. Just make sure you have evidence. You bring your high school certificate. That will be required when you go to the interview. So I think I completed the questions. I already went over the questions that you guys asked me on the excuse me, on the YouTube channel. Continue watching the videos if you need clarification on anything, and then just wait and we'll see what happens in May. So if you've already submitted your application, congratulations. That is the first step. And then in May, we'll come back and remind you guys, we'll let you know when when you can check your results. Usually they announce towards the end of April. They'll announce and let us know when you can start checking. It's usually in the beginning of May. So we'll let you know when you can go ahead and check. You will need your confirmation number to check the status of your application. So the US Department of State is not going to send you an email. It's not going to call you. They're not going to send you a letter saying that you have been selected. It is your responsibility to go to the website and check the status of your application using your confirmation number, your year of birth, and your last name. So good luck to all of you who have applied. If you still haven't applied, you have 17 more days. If you don't have any further questions, I thank you for being here on my live today. Keep your questions coming. All the best. Thank you for 6,000 subscribers. Thank you for supporting my channel. So you have, Yakub, I'm trying to sign off. You have another question? Okay. Let's see. In regards of retaining our passports by the consular rep, our passports have been retained and we were told to come after a week. And then, was this an indication of passing the interview? Because usually after the interview, I'm not sure about your situation because I don't have the whole story, Yakub. But usually after the interview and after you've passed, they don't give you back the passport because they have to stamp the visa on it. So the reason why they most likely took the passports is because they were going to put these to stamp the visas on it. So usually they will mail you the passport with the visa stamped on it after a few days. So I think after that, when they found out, they did their investigation and they found the forgery, they were in the process of maybe trying to check to see whether you guys should get the visa or not. So I don't even know how they found out about that forgery. Do you know how they found out? Or you don't want to talk about it? That's fine if you don't. But usually after the interview is they keep your passports so that they can stamp the visa in the passports. So like I said, Yakub, you can apply as the main applicant and use your education. Use your education and your credentials and see if that will work for you guys. All the best. All the best. Let us know how it goes in future. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, guys.